controls, WASD. Got it. Wazad.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide.
Okay.
My name is Davey Wreden.
Hi, Davey.
I wrote the Stanley Parable.
Okay.
And while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert
Coda
town,
did CS2.
he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped.
Why?
In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since.
What'd you do to him?
And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again.
Did you do to him?
And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden
Highly doubt that email still works.
@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
1000.
Warning. Whisper machine active. Shift destruction imminent.
So what you're saying is he made fucking Gmod.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
I don't have any more bullets. Is this like the dead guy who made Doom 2 WAD or whatever it was? I don't know.
Security hull breached. Hostile alien life forms inbound.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room. Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it. Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature.
Why do you want to hurt him? What did he do to you?
Your body could stop
You
the
okay?
beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Give myself what? To die? Yeah, yeet. Yes.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Oh.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Where we going?
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Code is trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope. It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Where the fuck? I am now entering.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting. Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
We going so slow.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all?
Yeah, I'm about to slap the shit out of Coda one day.
To show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
That's a lot. That's a lot of words.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Play as the camera filming an advertisement, walking around on set, wherever you like.
Coda would often tell me
Press
that he
U
didn't
to
mind
surrender.
if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and
Sounds
compassionate
like cheating.
person,
I wouldn't know.
but that it takes
I don't
time to
cheat.
really see that.
I just play the game.
It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Standing on an X staring at a bear for 3 hours could not be me. January 2009. Okay.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it. Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
That's 3 dots on the wall. That's weird. If Coda's a fish, I am not the fisherman.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again, so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Okay. Coda. Coda, what the fuck did you do?
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it? Aha! So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
I bet Coda's white.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on
never
what's
mind.
called
It's
an
probably
engine,
lazy.
which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source.
Of course.
Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly.
Source made
One of the
Half-Life
things
and
that it
Portal.
does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's
Oh,
why
shit.
so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear,
That's why
boxy
all the
corridors.
Half-Life games are just fucking squares. Oh, okay.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If
Gonna
you don't
modify
mind,
it
I think
again?
we're gonna skip
Okay,
that.
never mind. Oh, going back down.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game,
Can I
why
slap
not make
Coda?
it playable
Is that a
and
possible
accessible?
thing?
And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file. entitled Playable Games.
What's my next
that was
IQ?
full of hundreds of individual games.
50-50.
each of which
I'm
was
going to be half
just
smart
an
for
empty
this.
box
Okay.
that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Where are we going?
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
Which doesn't make sense of how that
There's
lever
still no
sits
clear
there, but it's
indication of
whatever.
what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
It's just a puzzle, my boy. Okay. You there, did you come from
Here,
above?
Coda begins using a
What
kind
was
of
up there?
dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
2. That's the world above. You've been there. No, this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yes, I did. Again, perfect. Now tell us how you solve it. 3. Do you understand there's an important thing in this world? We have to escape this prison. Oh yeah, there must be an ending. I promise you there's nothing I want more. Okay, let's go. We going up in here, boy. Oh, there's 3 more people and they're lower than before. Hello, how did you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? Yes. No, we actually found a blank space between the doors for more. Now that you mention it, yeah, I remember feeling strange when I passed through it. Ooh. Don't think too hard about it. Okay. You'll see it again soon. How soon? How soon is too soon?
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Christ. Long ass stairs. Yo, Coda, what was going through your head making these games? That's the point of this game. Never mind, you're right. God?
It's a lamppost.
It is a lamppost, I see
Okay,
that.
I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out.
Oh?
I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games
makes sense.
with no clear purpose, and maybe you
It
can
does
only
make sense,
float
though.
around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to.
Sorry,
He
distracted
wants a
by someone
reference
streaming in a
He
bikini.
wants the
Ah,
work
well,
to be
that's good,
leading
that's
to
good.
something.
Literally, at least it's not
He
this
wants a
lamppost.
destination.
If there was a
Which is what
lamppost
this
in there, I'd be
lamppost
concerned.
is. It's a destination. We're gonna see it in the work as well. His games are just gonna become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Just a pool in VR's chat. Okay. Drop the ad. Yeah, drop the ad. Let's see what they doing. As you walk around, you can leave notes. I don't want to do that. Never mind. Why not? Why you say never mind so fast? I don't want to read any of this.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but
How
this
do you
game
beat
is
this
not
game?
connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person.
VR. You don't need a
In
VR headset
retrospect, I think I
to
was
get on
probably
VR
a
chat.
bit too pushy.
You know
trying
how
to
many
get his
people I know
attention.
play on mouse and key in that game?
I was over enthusiastic, but he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you.
Oh,
Nothing
I'm not
extra is
reading
gonna
these
happen
notes.
if you
Don't
read
worry,
all of
I'm
them.
not reading these notes.
Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person.
I knew
who's
Coda was
filled with
depressed.
thoughts
Nah, that's what you said
and
actually.
feelings
You said he
and
was
beliefs,
depressed. He had depression.
and has no way to express them except as scattered and
Deception.
unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Disgraced. Where am I going? I can't go that
But
way.
it's ironic, isn't it? That
Yep.
in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just
Seductive?
play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me
Ew,
personally
this is so wrong.
into his world.
What are we talking about? This
And then
game
I
or
feel
whatever
less
you're
lonely
watching
too.
over there? If it's whatever you're watching, never mind. Don't drop
At
the
the
ad.
end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means.
Can I just drop
Each
down?
of these games represents an
Nope.
idea that was
I
on
gotta
Coda's mind at
Physically
the
go
time that
down
he was making
the
it.
slopes.
And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter
No,
of his
your
life
game.
before
He
moving
has
on
a
to the
tail,
next
and that's
one.
100% okay with me. Oh,
In each of
okay.
his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then
How
place
is my
this
game so
puzzle
wrong then?
that he knows has a reliable solution.
It's just
He
a man
understands
talking about his
exactly how
friend
it
who
works,
disappeared in
and so it
2011.
gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
I don't know what he wants to do with this man. I think he's just worried that his friend disappeared, or probably has suicidal thoughts. I don't know. Are you there? Please say something. Can be anything. Talk to me. Why are you having so much difficulty? Speak, 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 speak. That's a lot of speaking. I don't like doing all that. Porn
Okay,
stars
this
to
one is tough.
die to. Let's
It's gonna kinda just spin its
go.
own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Who we dying to? Oh, what the fuck? We dying to porn stars and now we going through secret tunnels. I don't like it here no more.
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this
So
modern
he's
furniture.
lost in himself.
And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it
What
into
type
something
of tail?
else.
It's
Okay,
probably a
cool.
wolf tail.
Here's version 2.
Or a cat tail. Maybe a dog tail to be honest. Version 2. Who'da who? The furniture ought to go in the center of the room. How about a TV with surround sound? That is not a TV, my good sir. Now what goes along the wall? A washing machine. That is not a washing machine, my good sir. Wolf could be a bit thicker. It's workable. Makes sense. 1. Give me a skylight. That's okay. That I guess. A table. You need a table. 2. None of my choices are making any difference. Well, there's a fucking table, and now the room is getting bigger.
There's a
parkour.
bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for
Ooh,
weirdness'
weave.
sake.
Parkour. Catching up to the wall, boy. What's up? Made it.
So
Made
okay,
it to
he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello. Okay, I walk forward. This guy will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. First, click on this table. Okay, good. Now go over to the photo frame. Turn it slightly. What photo frame? Oh, this one. The floor lamp. Turn it. This room is off. Turn it back on. Go to the left side of the sofa and move it over a little. This sofa? Or this sofa? Ah, that sofa. Finally touch the shelves. Oh, these shelves? That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open, return to the start, and get taken back to your prison. Okay. Return.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this, to see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. He's
Okay.
done. He
Got
stops making prisons.
But why?
This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
I am confused now. Answer the phone. Who we calling? Hello? Who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you after from escape the prison. You're me? And you're trapped in the prison too.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to
That's
talk
where I
to
am
someone,
right now.
to share
I'm so
what's on his
glad that
mind,
eventually I'll get
and
out.
to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Most depressive thing I've ever been through. You don't forget, you just stop identifying with it. Okay, this is getting deep. And if you're me, did you get a call from another version of you? No. And you could tell me how to get out. Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? How do you feel right now? You gotta tell me how you feel. 1. Go on.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice? So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Oh, talking to others? Couldn't be me. Imagine talking to somebody else. How does one do that?
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side.
How do you talk to women? Game, tell me that. Oh my goodness, I'm glad. Thought I might clean up the entire house all by myself. The right miserable that would be. Everyone else knows lonely hands make lousy homes.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this
Don't worry,
new and
this
improved
night.
chat system, which he started using
Just
from
not
this
getting
point
ahead of
on.
yourself there, no.
From here on out,
How do
he
we start
begins
cleaning
putting
a dead
much
dude
more
or shot?
effort into the visual polish of his work, and this
Clear the
particular
table,
game
bet.
took 2 months to create
Next.
as a result.
Nice, nice. That's the table I want to see. Bedroom, make the bed. Okay. Where's the bedroom? Making the bed. Click. Okay. Yeah, straighten out the rug. Okay. Do you enjoy being a house cleaner? This is a lot of words. I don't like words, but you know, it's whatever. Tidy the couch? Bet, I can do that. I can do that. Click. Oh, what's next? Spill the drink on the couch. Bet. Clean. Next. Cheesy personal. You okay with that? I'll get by. Why is your bathroom connected to your hallway and your bedroom? The dishes? Why am I doing the dishes? Why? Ah, there it is. Click. Back to the bedroom. Got the tub. Tub. Books. What's next? What you got? Clear off the bitch? What?
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful. I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Why am I cleaning this house? 3.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
I'm watching the bed. Question. Okay.
But
Do
of
you
course,
enjoy this?
It can't last.
Okay.
The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
It's a wild thing. Lamppost.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
September 2009. It's only been a month.
This one gets a bit goofy.
Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? I'm the only one in class. Where's the rest of my classmates? Oh, I'm switching table. Okay. Y'all can read all that. I'm not reading that. How did I get closer? Why am I so close? I would never sit in the front of a class. I never sat in the front of a class.
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
What the fuck is that?
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
What if I don't move around the classroom?
I fell pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this
This game
a lot
hurts my
these
brain.
days. This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Okay, how strange we talking? We going on stage. Enter stage right. Or stage left, sorry. Enter stage left. Hi. Places. Alright, I'm going here stage right. Boom. Leaning against the... Hey, yo. I'm on top of the wall. It's a professional photographer of animals, and your dream is to photograph animals professionally. This is only words. Sorry, I can't read. I am reading at a 4th grade level. Yellow. Yes, that's it. The fuck do you want? You actually need to conversate with her or be a human being. Do it again. Three. No, that's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I did. Oh, you're an introvert. So I just gotta be an introvert. What the fuck is that? Now talk to her. Three. You're messing it up again. Of course I'm messing it up. I don't know what do you want from me? Why are you having all the air fresheners? Because it stinks in this stage. These aren't even the Glad ones, or Glade, or whatever you call them. Hey, we out. Lamppost. I'm gonna walk backwards.
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase
introvert.
success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from
introvert with ADHD and anxiety. That's exactly what it is. He's like me.
When I first played
Trash.
You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a
5
new
months.
game.
Play this game. Click to begin. Okay. What's going on? I can't see anything. Please tell me how to solve this. We're about to die. We're going to die. Cause I am blind and I can't see shit. And we died. Nice. GG's. 10 out of 10.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
I'm bursting with creativity. No, that isn't truthful. Alright. 3. And we're dead. Lock me back in. 3. Two. Can't keep making these, bruh.
Like I said, I
1.
was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet
1.
for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than
I'm
usual.
alone.
Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
Yes, he does.
His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
What we doing? Just a tree? Where we going? Okay. Tree. That a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. I would be terrified. Imagine being alone in the world and next thing you know, poof, a human just randomly shows up. I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. Okay. Whatever that means. Not far. Show me. Show me, Dewey. Show me, Dewey. I want to know,
If the last
Dewey.
game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even.
Coda,
And
you
yet
good,
still,
my boy?
He keeps making
You need a
games.
doctor?
He keeps throwing himself into the
You need
grinder,
like
even when he
$2?
clearly doesn't have the energy for it
I got
anymore.
$2 if you need $2.
Why? What is it for? Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet.
First you open the
And
door.
so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Ah, you have to close the first door. Now you have to click the switch. And now you get out.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then
Yes, I
there's
can.
no
I could do what I want.
Then
Someone
there's
needs to
no
call Coda.
circulation.
Tell Coda
If
his
all
life
of
was
your
worthless
anxieties are
and
being
he produce
channeled
anything.
into your work, then if the work ever
value.
fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
Who breathing so heavy over there? Why are you breathing so heavy? Okay. Coda, what you doing? Don't worry about it. What do you mean don't worry about it? What if I'm questioning my own life here? Yes, these are floating block colors. Hey, it's me. I'm you.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped.
Coda needs to just go jump off a cliff or something.
Video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
Why is the red text getting horny off of my shit?
To explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything.
Who is
for
that?
This to stop.
Why is she crying? The fuck you crying for?
Stop.
Unless that's
After
Coda.
finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
It's not even 2 games. It's been what, 2 years? It's been 2 years and he made 3 games. What's up, guard? What's up, bruh? Captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You've been the interrogation. Alright. I intend to be quick. Really good. Just be warned, somebody called the press, so you might have to put in the It calls itself Coda. Or Code. Hey, it's the press. The machine.
And
Stop.
of course, it's the machine.
That is PC. Is that his heart box? Does he have a heart palpitation, so he needed this thing to keep his heart regulated? So what are the hoses for? I don't fucking know. Hoses just connect to itself. It literally connects to itself. What is this machine connected to? I don't know. How the fuck? I am depressed. My friendings. I have a troubling revelation. The machine refused to admit that it deliberately hurt. I would skip party too. Blame it on the machine. Destroy everything the machine created, or destroy the machine? Destroy their creations. Murder. Oh. Oh yeah. Destroy everything.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. it might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral?
Who talks to
Would it give him
humans
confidence in
nowadays?
himself?
I
Would
talk
it
to
bring
Gen
meaning back
Zers
into
who
his work?
don't know anything about things that I know about. Oh, there we go.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
The machine. I feel like the machine is his heart. I don't have a weapon. Oh. Yeah. You can die now.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do?
God doesn't see.
It's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my
That's what
work
an
is
introvert
good,
is.
that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something, I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem.
Do I have to keep shooting? I don't
They
have to
told me
keep
how
shooting.
much they enjoyed his games. It was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
Is this written by George Lucas? No, it's written by the guy who did Stanley Parable.
So anyway, Coda finishes this game,
Don't
and
introduce
then
any characters
really
you don't
he just
need.
kind of takes off for a while.
Yeah,
So this is
it's only
June of
him
2011,
and Coda.
and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks. I
June
guess.
2011.
And so out of nowhere,
What was
one
I
day
doing in
get
June
an email,
2011?
and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
I think I was going into my sophomore year of high school. Aren't you buzzing me?
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game. This room actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all.
Alright, I'm gonna stop
But
that.
I do want to show you the rest
Flashing
of the
lights.
levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Bridge.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze? The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit
There's like a
code.
million different combinations for
Like
that.
the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
That's a very specific number to write. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Fuck. Not too far. I did it. Hey, that's where I was earlier.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door,
What
meaning
the
that
fuck,
it's literally
Richard?
impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
Damn it, Coda.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game?
No.
I mean, I
Coda's
don't know
just
why
an
I would
idiot.
be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person.
No, you don't. Even though
I
you've
have
spoken
no
to him for
idea
4
who
years.
This person is.
That sounds like normal
It
men
wasn't
shit.
the guy I knew. It wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them. I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean.
I saw those 3
and
dots.
he wouldn't.
I remember those 3 dots. The first time we did the puzzle, I looked at it and I saw 3 dots. I was like,
if I
ooh,
could
3
have
dots.
connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed.
Maybe you did fail.
Where did I screw up?
Not talking to him.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I?
Yes, you got
It's because of
too
what I did.
addicted.
I poisoned it for you. I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable. And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, it was... I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Wait, I was adding the lamppost? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Would you
And then you
simply let
stopped,
them be where
and
they
I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself.
physically
And
fail?
as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
Oh, so I'm fucked up. But since I'm fucked up, I fucked him up more. or them?
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself. That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please.
I don't know what he wants
I need to
anymore.
feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me?
Yes.
Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop
I don't know
myself
what he
from
wants
doing
anymore.
it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me.
I just
Can I
realized the walls are
apologize?
closing
What if I
in.
tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just
I don't think
summoned
you're
out
wrong
of
anymore. I
nothing.
think
You
he
put in
really
your
just wants to
work.
fuck him
You
at
were
this point.
complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
So you're the reason. You were his 13th reason. How dare you? You were his 13th reason. Ooh, train.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
Yes, you are a disease. Do be diseasing. Can I get in the train? There's a twist. Well, let's find out if there's a twist. Oh, the train door opened. We are now on the train. Let's go. Where are the doors and windows?
Solution.
What the fuck? What kind of magical shit is this?
I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons.
Maybe he does, and maybe you need to leave that man alone. What is the point of that balcony? There's no door, no stairs, nothing. It's just there. How dare? How dare you be a useless balcony?
Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
It just goes in circles. Window painting. Where am I?
If
What
I
a-
knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but The thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
Well, we gotta go to the blue one. Because it's blue. Nothing by it, it's just blue. You go home, that's what's now. Leave the man alone. Let him do what he wants. Maybe he'll start gaming again. Maybe not. I don't know.
Think I
Leave him
need to
alone.
go.
Yes, see, you get it.
And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do.
You don't have
I
shit
have
to
a lot
do,
that I
buddy.
need to make up for.
No, you
So,
don't.
Just gonna... Okay.
Good riddance. Don't want to hear your voice again, and if I do, I'm not gonna respond to you. Maybe not. He might have something dumb to say, and I just want to curse him out. A lot of fucking stairs and rocks and other stuff. Whee! I'm in a hole now. Oh, we're in an elevator. Come on, let me in. 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 Thank you. You got so much stairs, bro. This is a long ass ending. Never seen an epilogue this damn long. Jesus Christ, bro. Can I parkour into there? Parkour. Let's go. Oh, and we're floating again. Hey, yo. It's a maze that goes on forever and doesn't end. Or begins. I don't even think it's possible to solve this maze, is it? There was no beginning. Or an end. Yeah. My eyes are following a path and it just keeps ending at dead ends, so... Is this what God sees when he looks down on like 7 billion of us? He just sees a giant maze.
Turn back.
Shut up. Shut up.
Turn back from this cave.
Is this copyrighted? I can't tell.
You said,
Aren't you crying? You were here this whole... I thought you left, to be honest.
let me keep going. But
Who's Coda?
the cave goes for miles
Shout out to Helena.
and
Helena.
miles.
however you want to name her. Ride or die. Wait, it's over? Yes, it's over. I told you these games were short. Don't worry, I'll play a longer game tomorrow.